Fingers will be pointed at Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but those two are not the only reason I think the Nets fired Kenny Atkinson. And don't kid yourself, he was fired. I mean, the Nets say it was a mutual agreement, but their coach knew he'd be gone at some point, so why not get a head start on your job search? Bottom line, things changed in Brooklyn. People already blame Kyrie and KD, but one report said, quote, Kenny pushed for the parting just as much, if not more, than Brooklyn. In this video, I'll explain what I really think went down and why the Nets fired their coach. Then we'll go down the list of candidates to be the next coach in Brooklyn, including one out-of-the-box coach who I think would really work. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. We're coming out with 5 quality videos Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. But you don't even need to remember that. Just hit notification bells and it'll pop up right there on your phone every single time a video is uploaded. Say what's up on Twitter at Casey Kiernan or over on IG at AM Hoops. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are both difficult stars to work with. That's not controversial. They don't stay in one place for too long because things get tense. They also both happen to be great basketball players, and in Durant's case, an all-timer. No matter how toxic they can make a locker room, the NBA is about stars. The Nets had to get them. Before the Nets got Kyrie and KD, the Nets were my favorite team to watch last year. There were no expectations. They made the playoffs and even won a game. Their identity was a young, scrappy team, and their culture was be humble, grind, and grow. Kenny Atkinson perfectly fit that culture and identity. He's a lifelong basketball guy who went undrafted. Eventually, he rose all the way up to be an NBA head coach, starting from the bottom. Then one day, everything changed. Kyrie Irving decided to sign. KD joined on a sign and trade. Those guys brought DeAndre Jordan and baggage. And again, that's not controversial. I mean, it's almost hard to keep up with all the outside noise that's happened with Kyrie and KD. Let's see, it all started on the China trip when Kyrie was reportedly moody, didn't want to talk to his teammates. He refused to take his hat off for this team photo. Then he told the media they needed to add pieces, which alienated some teammates. Kevin Durant went on a podcast and gossiped about everything from OKC to the Warriors. I am sure Kenny Atkinson, a grinder, a blue-collar type coach, was not thrilled with all the superstar drama BS. And then there was the on-court stuff. It's never easy to lose, but the Nets had to deal with Kyrie Irving going in and out of the lineup, never knowing if he was going to play, not play, be out for the season, and all that uncertainty made Kenny Atkinson mess with his lineups. And to NBA players, minutes are like money. There's an old saying that if a coach wants to discipline an NBA player, the only thing that will really work is to limit his minutes. That caused a ton of unrest beyond just Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Now he's in hot water with other players on his roster. Spencer Dinwiddie would start, then not start. He would ball out, carrying the team like he did the year before, then be benched. No doubt he was upset about all that. Karis LeVert was part of this back and forth to the bench thing, and so was DeAndre Jordan. Let's make one thing clear. Jarrett Allen is a better player than DeAndre Jordan. If you're a coach trying to win games, you start Jarrett Allen. The problem here is politics. DeAndre Jordan is close friends with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. It's why he got $40 million to play there. So how do you think Kyrie and KD felt about their friend coming off the bench? If they all came there to play together, DJ coming off the bench limits that. Kenny Atkinson doesn't care though. Again, he's just trying to win games. Reports say that Kyrie soured on Kenny Atkinson early, which isn't a surprise. Atkinson early in their relationship basically said he wasn't going to change their system for Kyrie Irving. Probably not a smart move. In the end, the coach reportedly said, quote, "My voice is not what it once was here. It's time." The Nets say players weren't involved in the decision to move on from Kenny Atkinson. That is total BS. The GM, Sean Marks, wouldn't make a giant move like this without consulting his star players. He even consults them on who should be on the roster. He recently said this on New York radio.
You know, I always take a select handful of players' opinions in terms of how we continue to build this. We've done this from day one, gathered their thoughts, and because these guys know the players better than anybody else. So when we're saying, hey, look, this is what we're looking at, what do you think? they'll be brutally honest because they've got to go play with those guys.
Exactly. He's not dumb. He definitely consulted with Kyrie and KD, and they may not have said fire him, but they sure didn't fight for him either. And I do not like the culture that they now have in Brooklyn. I mean, I like player empowerment. I like that players have a strong voice that they can move from team to team. And I would rather ultimately have Kyrie and KD and have a chance at a title than only win one playoff game. But I don't like when superstars run the team. I think strong teams have good leadership that can direct really good talent. And my favorite example of this recently is the Miami Heat. Imagine the star power of LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh. Early in the Miami Heat Big 3 days, they went to Pat Riley and said they wanted Eric Spoelstra out. Pat Riley, though, knew Spoelstra was going to be great, and he told them, no way. This is the right man for the job. He's going to grow and coach you guys to a championship. And he was right. So it goes both ways here. You need a strong front office who knows how to build a winning culture, and you need stars who are really good, but also respect that front office and their leadership. Right now, the Nets have neither. That was not an environment that Kenny Atkinson felt comfortable in, so they both agreed it's over. I think this is a sign that Kyrie and KD are going to fail miserably in Brooklyn. Again, I do not blame the Nets for their culture right now. You have to sign Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant every time. This just comes with the territory of those superstars. The worst part is that Kenny Atkinson never really got a chance to coach this team. I mean, he coached a team, but not exactly the new Brooklyn Nets. Maybe he would have been the perfect coach for a full-strength Nets team, but apparently he just didn't mesh well with this locker room. One of the players who grew a ton under Atkinson was Joe Harris, and even he said, quote, dealing with a young, up-and-coming team is much different than coaching superstar players. It's a much different dynamic. In other words, the culture changed here. I do believe in Kenny Atkinson, though. I think he is a coach that elevates players the way he did with D'Lo, who earned a max contract. I'm just afraid other people won't see it. I would hate for all the drama in Brooklyn here to make it look like Atkinson can't get along with stars. No one can get along with these stars. Their track record proves it. So who's the next head coach of the Brooklyn Nets? Well, he's got to be someone who's cool with having little to no power and someone that Kyrie and KD get along with. Obviously, number one is Ty Lue. A report says that Kyrie prefers Ty Lue. He was the coach in 2016 when Cleveland won its title, and Kyrie hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history. LeBron James had all the power on that Cleveland team, so Ty checks that box too. Next up, Mark Jackson, the Kevin Durant pick. Why is this a KD pick? Because this is an actual quote from KD's agent just after Atkinson was let go. Quote, Mark Jackson clearly deserves to be coaching in the NBA. Whatever team gives him a shot, you learn from your experiences and you hone your craft. Mark is one of those people who can make people follow. He's got an incredible way to motivate, he brings charisma to the situation, and he knows basketball. Seems like the next coach, right? Well, there's a few problems. Awful stories from when he coached Golden State before Steve Kerr. The book Beta Basketball said he was extorted for money from two people, including an ex-stripper. He didn't get along with assistants. One even tried to secretly tape record their conversations. He didn't get along with the owner's son either, or Jerry West. And finally, Gregg Popovich. This would be the perfect hire. And before you say that is impossible, Pop would never leave San Antonio, consider this. Now is the perfect time, if there ever was one, to leave San Antonio. He loves that organization, but the championship chapter is over. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, they're all gone. DeMar DeRozan could leave. LaMarcus Aldridge is on an expiring contract. Pop also loves the big city. His favorite trips every year are to San Francisco or New York City. And of course, this wouldn't be about money. He's already the highest paid coach. This would be about the challenge. I think if Pop went to Brooklyn, he'd be that strong leadership that commands respect, and maybe they would win a championship after all. Whoever becomes their next head coach, we do know that Kenny Atkinson just didn't fit that culture and identity anymore in Brooklyn. It sounds like he lost KD and Kyrie, but also most of the rest of that locker room. Maybe this is what's best for him as a coach wherever he lands. But I also think this is the first big sign that KD and Kyrie are going to fail in Brooklyn. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.